Always look like I am thinking so hard when I'm trying to get this going. Where am I going? Okay, here. Oops, I thought I turned that sound off. This one. Always look like I'm thinking sound. Oh, I hate sound of my own voice, that's for sure. All right, so we'll just wait and see who comes on. What do I need? What do I need? Hi, Frankie. Can you hear me okay? Just coming to hang out today? Or are you actually making it? I think you were hanging out for the next little while, weren't you? It's okay. My son's name is Brady, so it works. Everybody teases me and says I named him after me and just took the N out of my name, which is kind of true, I guess, but no, I didn't name him after me. Oh, you're making this one. Awesome. Awesome, awesome. I guess I did come in a little bit early. I've been running around like a chicken with my head cut off today. Oh, your grandson is Brady too? It's a good name. Oh, I should get my phone already here too. I forgot last time. Where am I going? There we go. No, no sound. There we go. I'm gonna stand that up there. Actually set, besides not being able to vacuum before class, but oh well. It is what it is. You're gonna just finish it up? It's a pretty easy sew. It's pretty good. Hi, Dawn. Oh, hi. Yeah, you and your boat trip. Thanks for popping in, though. You can be on detention just like Karen because you can't make it today. Hi, Anna. How was work today, Anna? Hi, Diane. So I just like rushed to the airport to help my dad at the flying club with the computer problem and came back. It's just really, really good that I live like 5 minutes from the airport. So not even. So I'm a little winded because I'm like, I'm not going to make it back in time. Oh no, oh no. And then I have clients messaging me going, can you do a custom bag last minute in December? I'm like, I sure can't. I'm going to be in Bali. So now they're wanting me to send them all of the bags I have in stock, but I'm just like, just come to my craft fair on November 6th because I've been kind of hoarding all of my bags, trying not to sell them because I'm scared I won't have anything for these tables that I already paid for. So I guess we'll see what happens. I have a fear of not having enough bags on my market table. And I also have the fear that I'm not going to sell anything. So I guess we'll see what happens. It looks like I have sold one bag today. It's to like my #1 client, and of course, I'm going to give her a sneak peek. I think she's going to buy my Louis Vuitton inspired apothecary, so that's cool. Hi, Kathy. Trying to, I said I just finished making a Rudinasia bag, so now I'm trying to get acquainted. Okay, I see what we're doing today. Trying to get from one pattern making mode into the next one. Oh, you're going 3 weeks in Florida, Frankie. Anna and I are going to Florida in February together. Hopefully. Pretty sure. Right, Anna? We're going to have a blast. It's the year of travel for me, now that I have a passport, right? So I got my plane tickets and everything for Indonesia. Now I just got to work on my travel insurance, and I decided I was going to make myself a carry-on bag and a toiletries bag for the trip, but I just decided I'm going to keep my 2 Georges that we did in class for myself because I love them. So those are going to be my travel bags. I decided I don't have time to make anything else right now. Hi, Annie. Trying not to overschedule myself. It's really hard because I really do overschedule myself quite often. Yes. Anna says she and I are Florida bound in February. She gets to babysit me. I'm not a traveler. This trip to Indonesia is pretty big. Trip to Florida will be pretty big for me too. But I have my sister-in-law Kristen to babysit me in Indonesia and Anna to babysit me in Florida, so we're good. Good practice for when Dave and I go to England. That our 25th wedding anniversary is in April, and we're hoping that his spring bonus is going to be big enough to get us a trip to England for 3 weeks or so, or 2 weeks even. That would be amazing. So then I have to figure out how to schedule classes and everything around all these trips I'm making this year. So we'll figure it out. I'm also going to Ontario end of May, beginning of June, but it worked out good because I think there's like 4 Tuesdays and Thursdays in each of those months or something. But again, we'll figure it out. Whereabouts in Florida are you going, Frankie? Oh, it's where your summer home was blowing away, right? I hope it's okay. Hi, Melissa. Said I popped in a little early. We'll give it about 10 minutes or so to get everybody in. Today, I'm hopeful to get the front. What I'm hoping to do is this front pouch. So today, we will be doing the lining side of one, the front side, and then for homework, it'll probably be the back one to do. And then, yeah, that's what I'm thinking is where we're going to get. I guess we'll see. Or else we'll just get all the panels made this class maybe, and then we can put it all together next class. Melissa, potentially using the piping today. I'm going to follow the order of the pattern. I'm going to try to stick to it as close as I can to make it easier to follow. So we may not get, no, I don't think we'll get to the piping part today. So we probably won't be doing the side panels today. We will be working on the main panels today. So the lining main, the 2 pouch sections. Oh, I'm so glad your house is okay, Frankie. And landscape damage is no good either, but that's so much better than having to fix a house. No, don't worry about finishing it right now. We won't be getting to the side panels today. And again, the piping, you do not need to put the piping in if you don't want to. Whew, I'm hot now. Too much running around. Hi, Wanda. Is everybody having a good week so far? I have a super busy weekend. It's crazy. My mom has her first craft market of the season on Saturday, so I help her with that. I'm not doing all of them. She has scheduled in for, I think, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think she's up to 9 or 10 so far. I've only signed up for 3, but I help her with all of hers. So yeah, so Friday evening we set hers up, and then Saturday is that market. And then Sunday we're actually taking my mom out for her birthday dinner. Her birthday's on the 21st. So we're taking her out on the 16th with the boys because both of the boys have the day off and she wants to spend it with her grandboys. So it's going to be busy. Do you guys hear a weird buzzing? I think it's outside. So just give it another 5 minutes or so. It's just 4 o'clock now, so hi, Kim. You hear Benny running up and down the stairs because I have him locked out. You hear him prancing down the stairs. He's going to start scratching at the door now. He just wants to come in and out, in and out, in and out. He's trying to get me to go upstairs and cuddle with him on the couch. You don't hear any buzzing? Okay, I think it was outside, so just making sure my microphone's not acting up. You guys can hear me okay? I have the microphone kind of way at the other end of the table now. Now that I have my new blue cart, I have my table completely clear of stuff except for my microphone and what I'm working on and my rivet press. So I'm fine, thanks, Kim. How are you? Oh, you hear it now? It's gone now, Melissa. You don't hear it anymore, do you? Sound is good? Perfect. Good. Off until Tuesday. Oh, good. You deserve a long weekend. Yeah, I think it was the neighbors next door. I think they are actually whippersnipping. I think that's what I was hearing, which is kind of that sound. Right along their fence line, which is this wall right here. So that's probably what I was hearing. I'm glad they stopped. Then again, I've been wanting them to fix those weeds for a while, so I'm glad they did it. Not that I told them that, but they were pretty bad. So what are you going to do with all of those days off, Kim? Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. 5 days off. What will you do with all those days off? Get caught up in everything. Yeah, welcome to my life. So did everybody get their homework done? Everything is interfaced. Who ended up OD coating after my video? Did anybody OD coat their panels for this bag? I'm curious to know what you thought of the OD coat process if you did. Oh, I gotta stop. You can tell when I'm tired because I play with my hair, and that's exactly what I'm doing now. I'm tired. I've been going nonstop since 6 o'clock this morning. Ended up having a meeting at my old place of employment at the seniors home, and they were trying to beg me to come back to my job. I haven't been there in 3 years, but I politely declined, but it was a nice visit with my old coworkers. You ordered some OD coat, Kim? Cool. I'm really excited this weekend. I'm going to change the setup here a little bit. I'm hoping it'll take away the shaking of the table a little bit. Hopefully my cords are long enough, but for my over the table camera, I got a mount to hang from the roof, so it will be nice and centered over, so I'm not having to lean right over the table, because I have it on a claw on the other side of the table, and the table is shaky. That's why the camera looks like it shakes all the time, right? So yeah. Hi, Alba. Oh, how far away are you from home? Oh, there's that sound again. Oh, do you know what that sound is? It's the street cleaner. It's almost gone. Yeah, I'm really curious to see what you guys think of the OD coat. Drive safe, Elba. Nice. Said I wasn't planning on doing that video yet, but I figured this was the perfect time to do it, so why not? And it was fast, and I needed to OD coat my pieces for this bag anyway, so. Okay, we'll give it about 3. Okay, we're gonna get started here in about 3 minutes, Alba, so you'll have to catch up when you get there. And you're gonna stop at Joanne's and get your magnetic snap, right? Oh my goodness, I'm gonna wish I had. Oh, I should have stopped at Starbucks on my way, or Tim Hortons, and gotten a coffee instead of my water. But water's better for me at 4 o'clock. It feels completely different than iron-on vinyl. I find the OD coat a lot easier to put on than the iron-on vinyl. I'm not good at putting on iron-on vinyl at all. But I think it serves the same purpose. They just feel differently. Okay, so how many of us do we have in here? Still missing a few. We've only got 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Usually we have about 20 of us in here. We have 37 people in the class, but usually about 20 of us join live. So we'll just give it 1 more minute and then we'll get started. We'll give it till 10 after, and then we are going to get going. Guess I can get organized a little bit here. Okay, let me just grab out what we're going to be working on. I'm going to need this. Don't need that yet. As I'm going through my pieces, I didn't trim my interfacing out. Oh well, I'll do that as we go. Like, I was super lazy. Like, look at that. That's all good. Okay. Oh, Diane, feel better. I had my booster on Friday and it knocked me down on Saturday pretty good. So I completely get it. We'll see you next week. And you're already done this bag, so bravo. And you're going to be all better for when you go down to, when you fly south for the winter. Just make sure nobody is messaging me. Just give me a second here. Sometimes I get messages and I don't realize it, so I'll just double check that nobody's having issues getting in. Nobody there. Nobody there. Okay. I think we're okay. Alrighty. Let me put you guys. Split table. There we go. Make sure everything's out of the way. Try to be somewhat. All right, so we are going to start by putting our purse feet on the bottom. Let me trim this out. So usually I wouldn't have done the fleece yet. I did it over top of the deckable heavy already, but it's not gonna wreck anything. Gonna do it before, you can do it after. So we're gonna go ahead and do the purse feet. Oh, I forgot to ask, how many are sewing along with me today? Okay, safe travels on Sunday, Diane. We'll see you Thursday. Come out. 1, 2, 3, 4. Perfect. Okay, this, and I'm gonna eat this. All right, so we're starting off easy, purse feet. So we're going to be using the placement in the pattern. I've already punched through my holes for the placement. So on the back, I think we all know how to do this already. Actually, first, before I get too far, I'm going to mark my centers along the long sides and the short sides, because we'll need that later. It's a lot easier to do it before we install those purse feet. Sounds good, Kathy. Frankie's sewing with me. Okay, so if I get going too fast, please, please, please slow me down. That's fine, Elba. So I don't think we will be putting the bottom on to the exteriors today. We're just going to get them prepped. Okay. So once we have our centers, we're going to, on the back side, mark where our purse feet go and then install them as per your manufacturer's instructions. Because I know we all have different types. So we got 4. Anyways, as I was saying with my camera, I'm excited because I can see my table's already shaking to see if that's going to fix things a little bit, which will be really good. And if that shaking goes away, maybe I don't have to worry about getting a new table, because actually I don't feel my table shaking at all. I just notice it on camera. So everybody knows how to install purse feet? Yes? I'm pretty sure. I'm using the prong style purse feet. Oh, these aren't the right things. Let me get out the right. These are the ones that I want. I want these ones. 1, 2, 3, 4. My little bin of screws and washers and everything. I get Emmeline Bags to send me like tons of extras because I lose them all the time, and she's really awesome about giving me some extras. I do order a lot from her though, that's for sure. Benny's scratching at the door, but he'll be okay. Come on. Make sure they're all in good, and then I'm going to take my duct tape and put them over the prongs. Oops, that's a little far. This one. Oh, my garbage cans are so full. Holy moly. Definitely have to take a day this weekend and just clean this room. It's just getting out of hand. All right, so that is the purse feet installed. So give everybody a couple minutes to get that done. Let me know when you're done, and then we will move on to the next part. Which is the accent pieces. Change that a little bit. There we go. I really want to get new cutting mats too. I want to get the, they have ones that'll fit this whole tabletop at Fabricland. They're like white. That's what I want. But they're like $300, I think. Frankie's done. I think Frankie's the only one sewing with me right now. So, okay, so now we will work on our accent strips. So what these are these pieces right here and the one on the back. So I have already gone ahead and drawn my center line down the middle. So these are 2 inches. So your center line is 1 inch. And just like how we do our straps or connectors, we want to fold the long edges to that center line. So I'm using double-sided tape like I always do. Again, you can use clips if your machine does not like double-sided tape. Oh, right, Melissa's sewing along too. Sorry, Melissa. Okay, accent strips. So I think Melissa and Frankie are sewing with me. Kathy is sewing some. And Elba is going to sew with us as soon as she gets home. I also want to get a stand for my mic so it's not sitting on the table, because I know you guys hear it whenever I drop stuff or I bang on the table. It's pretty loud, but that's because my mic is on my table. Hi, Lauren. Lauren, are you sewing along with us today? Mark Lauren down. Lauren. Okay, and go ahead and fold those long sides. Let's get that all the way to those center lines. Just watching? Okay. Hi, Nicole. Just popping in. I like it when you pop in. How are things there? Smoke getting any better? So what this is going to do is leave you with approximately a 1-inch strip. And I want to tell you, I have not forgotten about the apothecary. I plan on doing that video this weekend. I honestly forgot about it. I feel bad. Just been so busy, but I do got to get it done this weekend. Okay. Just give everybody a minute or so to get that far. Let me know when you're done. Cool. Oh no, Nicole, that's not good. So we've had no smoke here in Kamloops. Maybe you should move here. I'd be so happy if you moved here. Everybody move here. Notice how flexible I am about moving? Not at all. Oh, okay, while I'm waiting, I'm actually going to just go and put the standard foot back on my sewing machine because I have my my zipper foot on here and I don't want that. Get in there. There we go. Maybe not. There we go. Ordered myself some more chips because I'm down to one bowl where I used to have like 3. How are we all making out there? Is everybody almost done this part? Give it another minute or 2. I'm trying really hard to keep my table nice and clear. It looks like with my head up here, it looks like I'm hanging out inside my clips. But I think that is a better place to put the picture in picture. I think it just worked out better. I'll give it another minute. Melissa's done. Hi, Irene. If you're watching today, welcome. Glad you popped in. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to take this over to the machine and we are going to top stitch this, but we are going to top stitch them with a 3/8 of an inch seam allowance, not a 1/8, a 3/8 of an inch seam allowance. And the reason that is, as you can see, my 4 lines of stitching on this one. So these are my 3/8 lines here. And then when we go to attach this band to the main panel, we attach it with a 1/8. So we get 4 lines of stitching for this one. So let's go and do that. Again, a 3/8 of an inch seam allowance down both sides. Top stitching. Oh, I should check my... Let me just double check my tension. That should be good. We're good. Okay, 3/8 of an inch. Okay, go quick. Melissa. Yeah, good. And I'm going to actually go ahead and I'm going to chain stitch these just because being on an industrial, I don't have a thread cutter. So just find it saves on time and saves on thread. Same with this, I'm just going to sew down this little end a little bit so I don't have to cut my thread. I got to go a little further. There we go. And 3/8 down the other side. I'm just going to make sure my tension is okay. I think it is. Loosen up just a little bit. How is that? Yeah, it's good. You want to try to make these as straight as you possibly can because they are a focal point on your bag. If you're brave, you could definitely use a contrasting thread. As you can see, I'm not so brave. Totally matchy-matchy. Okay, so give everybody about 4 minutes or so to get that done. Let me know when you're done. We're going to be doing a lot of prep work today. So there's not really a lining and an exteriors class because this is really just 2 pouches being sewn together. So, yeah, we're going to be doing some lining and some exterior today. Okay, so once you have those done, you can put those aside for now. Oops, I just dropped my exterior pieces on the floor. Pick those up. Ooh. Come here. I'm dropping everything. Ow. Tommy bit my head. Tommy messed up my hair. Okay. Alrighty. Yes, for top stitching, 3/8 of an inch top stitches, Melissa. We will be attaching these accents to the front panel with 1/8 of an inch. So this one, this strip has decorative stitching down the middle as well, which holds everything in place for us. Frankie's done. Alba says she's not brave, she's lazy and doesn't want to rethread it. I hear ya. Story of my life. Are you home now, Alba? Or are you still on the road? So Frankie, while you're waiting, if you want to grab out your ring connector piece and your 2 D-ring pieces, that's what we will be working on next. Look at me so far keeping my desk nice and clear. This is a miracle. I said, and I see it shaking. I'm so excited for Dave to put that camera stand up. I really hope it works. Okay, Melissa, let me know when you're done. Shouldn't take you too long. How about Kathy? How are you doing? Give it another minute or so. Mr. Benny is scratching at my door. He's so mad at me today. Okay. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to prepare our ring connectors and our D-ring connectors in the same way, except for we will top stitch down each of the folded edges with 1/8 of an inch seam allowance on both. So go ahead, and the connector piece is 2 inches, so our middle line is at the 1 inch mark. So you can mark that 1 inch mark. We did it all in the cut class, so if you cut along with me, then those should already be done. And you are going to notice our D-rings are smaller. The D-rings are only going to be a 1/2 inch. That is for a purpose. We do not want to be putting a 1 inch D-ring into the connectors. Again, this is why. Here's my little connector here. The way this bag folds in here, there is no room for a 1 inch connector there. So our connectors are going to be 1 inch or 1/2 inch. So when those look smaller, that's okay. So go ahead and do that. Same with the D-rings. So these are 2 inches, the D-rings, and they'll fold into the middle, and then we're going to fold them again upon themselves. For the ring connector, it's just folded in the one time and then top stitched. Now for the D-ring, she does them more like a strap. If you're worried about the thickness it is going to be to sew through there, you can definitely cut these to 1 inch and then fold them in just like these ones are, because they'll be folded in together. I think she did them double fold just because if it's a crossbody, it does get a little bit more stress on there, and I think it's just to make it so they don't wear out as fast. But if you're worried about getting over that thickness, you can definitely cut these in half and just fold them into the centers like this one. I'm going to do them as per the pattern and double fold them in. Oh my goodness, Benny, stop scratching at the door. If he keeps scratching, I may have to let him in, but we're going to kind of let him scratch it out for a moment. He doesn't want to be in here. He just wants me to go upstairs. He wants his snuggle time. Kathy's doing good. I did a little sewing earlier this week, and tonight realized my side pieces are wrong as they were directional. Now fixed and just about ready to sew. Oh, excellent. Okay. So you're going to catch up a little bit. Ask questions if you have any. Okay, so here's those D-ring connectors I was talking about. So I'm going to fold it into that center 1 inch line. Now Coco's out there crying. What the heck? Riley's upstairs. Okay, so fold them into the center and then fold them upon itself again, and that should give you a 1/2 inch, which it does. And I'm just going to hold that together with clips and do the same with the other one. Have a great night, Kim. We'll see you Tuesday. Have a great weekend. Enjoy your time off. Try to relax some. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and we're going to sew down each of these folded edges with 1/8 of an inch seam allowance. Top stitch. So again, I'm going to go ahead and chain stitch them. Make sure my tension is still good, and it is. Even these smaller ones I'm going to chain stitch. Now Coco's crying at the door. Oh my goodness, my babies are just so needy today. Listen to her. Poor baby. I didn't get a chance to take them for a walk before coming on either, so they're really mad at me. Okay, got it. Okay, so give everybody a few minutes to get that done. Let me know when you're done. Gotta love prep work. Got everything else ready to go. Frankie's done. Give it another 2 minutes or so. So Frankie, you can go ahead and get your 4 rectangular rings and your 2 half-inch D-rings out. The D-rings are only if you're doing the optional crossbody strap. Now the dogs are quiet. Okay, Melissa, thank you. Okay, so we'll do the little D-rings first. So choose which side you like better, and then put them wrong side that you don't like up, which is usually the bobbin side. I'm going to use a little bit of double-sided tape. Two pieces and put it along the bottom of one and the other. Oops, I didn't cut that very even. Holy moly. Let's try that again. That should be good enough. Okay, and then take your D-ring and put it on and then fold it wrong sides together. And not only am I going to use tape, I am also going to just put a clip on it because we're not going to be doing anything with this after today until next class. Okay, so I'm just going to throw these back into my little hardware bucket for later. So let me know when you're done with that, Frankie. Done? Okay, so now we are going to take this connector ring, what is called a connector ring, and we are going to make it into 4 equal pieces. So the first thing we're going to do is fold it in half, wrong sides together, and then we're going to cut on that fold to make 2. And then take each of those pieces and do the exact same thing, and that should give us 4 2.5 inch long connectors. And then you're going to do with the rectangular rings exactly what we just did with the D-rings. So on the wrong sides, we're going to put a little bit of double-sided tape or use a clip to stick these wrong sides together with the rectangular rings. I'm going to want to say D-rings inside. But don't put these away because we're going to work with them right away. Okay, so I'm going to take my rectangular ring and fold these wrong sides together. Like so. I'm going to worry about clips because we're going to be working with these right away. Totally missing the garbage can and throwing that garbage on the floor. You just want to make sure they're all about the same size. Here's that buzzing again. It's the street sweeper going by the house. It's weird time of year to be street sweeping, but yeah, well. Our city tax dollars being put to good use. Okay, so let me know when you're all done that. And I'm going to go ahead and grab my accent pieces back out because we're going to use those next. There's Coco barking it. There's that Chihuahua going for its hourly or 4:30 p.m. walk it does every day. Okay, while I'm waiting, I'm just going to trim up these. Oh, Frankie, you're all done? Okay, I'll put those away. Okay, so on our accent pieces on the opposite side, on the wrong sides, we want to take some double-sided tape. I'm actually switching to my 1/2-inch double-sided tape, but any size is fine. And we are going to put a strip right down the middle. If you're on a domestic, just make sure you're keeping that double-sided tape outside of the 1/8 from the folded edges, because that's where we will be top stitching. Otherwise, you will not be going through this tape. Not be sewing through it. Okay, and I just gotta look to see. I don't remember. I think it was 2.5 inches. 1.5 inches. Good thing I looked. And then what we're going to do is from each of the short edges, we're going to measure in 1.5 inches and make marks. I'll do this first one first, like so. We're going to take off that tape, and we are going to take our rectangular rings. We also want to measure up 1/4 inch from the bottom fold. I think it was 1/4. Yeah, like so. 1/4 inch from the bottom fold onto the inside. Let's get my hair out of there because I'm sure whoever buys this bag does not want my DNA. Or maybe they do. I don't know. Okay. Ah, sticking to me. And right in that little cross section there is where we're going to line up our D-ring or rectangular ring like so and stick it down. Do the same with the other accent piece. Keep it nice and straight. So again, 1.5 inches in and 1/4 inch up. And again, we're putting the rectangular rings to the inside of those lines, not the outside, the inside of those lines. Just like so. All right. Let me know when you have that all done. Now I'm just going to quickly trim my inner spacing up a little bit out of these. It's actually trimming off my Odie coat that I have running excess. Oops, I went a little too far on that one. Oopsie doopies. Oh no. See, I cut into it a little bit too much, but that's okay. It'll be fine. And this is just the Odie coat. You can see my Odie coat excess I am trimming off here. There's Benny scratching again. All right. I might have to straighten that up. Oh yeah, look, I'm a little bit off. I'm going to just straighten that up a little bit. Another couple minutes. Okay, all done. Okay, next what we want to do is we want to take our front and our back panels. We want to measure down 1.5 inches. Actually, before doing this, let's go ahead and cut our centers or mark our centers of the top and bottom. Again, I always forget to do this. Just going to do small snips. Feels so cool with that Odie coat. Can you guys hear that? It gives it a really awesome texture. Okay. Now what we want to do is measure down 1.5 inches from the top. So make sure you definitely have your piece sitting where you need it to go. I'm just going to put my ruler up like this. And then we're going to take this, so the gluey side is down, and we are going to line that 1.5 inch up with the top of our accent piece here. So, of course, our connectors like to get in the way. That's too far. Again, you could also go ahead and just draw a line, but I haven't experimented with drawing on my Odie coat pieces yet, how well my lines will come off, so I don't want to do that. Not experimented with that yet. Okay, I've got to put this on a little more centered because for some reason my strip isn't quite the same length. That's probably on me. We'll make sure it gets caught in that seam allowance. So nice and centered. So that will definitely see it. I'm a little bit short, but we have a 3/8 of an inch seam allowance, I think, on this, and that'll definitely get caught later. So nice and centered. We just want to make sure that our connectors are the same width from the end, 1 3/4, 1 3/4. So that's nice and centered. And do the same with the other one. What did I say, 1.5? This one I cut right. That one's just a little short. That's okay. Stick it down nice and straight. Again, just double check. You know what? I think my exterior piece is too big. It's okay. Oh yeah, there we go. That's my problem right there. It's okay. This one I cut a little bit too big, but it's going to be fine. Okay, so let me know when you're done with that. I'm actually going to go ahead and just straighten those up a little. Because that's just my cutting. Oh yeah, look, I'm really, really wavy there. So I'm the right length down here, but not up here. So I'm just going to fix that up. There we go. I'm such a lazy cutter sometimes, I admit it. There we go, perfect. Nobody will know. This is where your fussy cutting comes into play because the strap goes right through stuff. So, okay, done. So now what we're going to do is we are going to go top stitch this in place with 1/8 of an inch seam allowance across the top of the accent band and then across the bottom, and that is going to secure those rectangle rings in place. Now, have your hump jumper ready in case you need a little help getting over the connectors, because it does get a little bit thick there, but you should be okay. Where'd my mouse go? All right. Good. Rather than cutting my thread, I'm just going to kind of go with 1/8 of an inch seam allowance down the side here to travel, and then go across the bottom with 1/8 of an inch. And do the same with the other one. Oh, Benny. Oops, I was going to travel and I didn't that time. That's okay. Alrighty. And that's it for that. Let me know when you're all done. Make sure your top stitching looks good. Mine does. And we're already an hour in. Time flies when you're having fun. I'm just going to go grab a nameplate. Gonna need this. Just got all my tools ready. And these. How are you making out, Melissa and Kathy and Elba, if you're here? Snap acquired, 10 minutes from home. Was that a new done, Frankie? Are you done? There's so many dones in a row, I don't know which one we're on. So all we're going to do now is decide which one you like your top stitching on the most and make that one your front. Mine looks pretty good on everything. I think you're going to make this one my front. Okay, and in between our lines here, kind of centered, we are going to put rivets in there. So I'm just going to mark where my rivets are going to go. I just eyeball it about halfway through the connector and down. You want to be very careful that you are not cutting into, it's not quite centered, not cutting into your top stitches. As well as on the front piece, I'm actually going to put my nameplate right in the middle here. You can decide if that's where you want to put your nameplate. This is what it looks like there. So I'm also going to make that nice and centered and install that as well. So that's where I'm using my center notch here, so I can kind of place where it's going to go. Again, making sure that we are not going to be accidentally cutting into those stitches. So I'm just going to make my, that's where it's going to go. So we can go ahead and we can install our nameplates and our rivets. Kathy says this is as far as I got earlier this week, so now ready to continue. Woohoo! Okay, so you're with us now. Elba, hopefully the stuff we just did was actually fairly fast, so hopefully you can get caught up quite fast. The rest of us are going to go ahead and put this stuff on. I would usually give this stuff for homework, but we kind of need it done before we can move on, so we're going to do it together today. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. My nameplate first. There you are. Careful not to cut those stitches. Ask me how I know. I'm going to wash away that pen mark because that's sometimes hard to get off after the fact. I just love how the Tandy pens just wash away like that. I need something scrappy to wipe that away with. Ah, pulling everything out of my garbage. Tandy pens just wash away so good. There we go. Where did my holes go? There they are. Nope, that wasn't quite the right spot. 1, 2, 3. There we go. Make sure that's straight. I think that looks good. Are we straight or straight? Perfect. Then I always put Gorilla Tape or duct tape on the back of my prongs, just so they don't wear against the lining. Guess my table ended up getting cluttered after all. Look at that. Okay, and now to put in the rivets. In there, right there. screwy. There's my scissors. I'm also going to grab 4 scraps of Decibel Heavy to put behind my rivets. Decibel Heavy never goes to waste in this house. Well, in my studio. There's Coco saying hi. Put some of this away. Goodness, Miss Coco. At least she's not in here barking, right? This one, we'll press those on in a moment. Okay. Oops. I love my rivet press. Mine's a Gold Star rivet press. I've never had problems with it. I've heard some people that have. Mine's been fine. I think most people prefer the cam snaps. Sorry for the shaking table as I'm pressing down on my rivets. There you go. Whew, I'm warm now. Okay. Clean up my mess a little bit here. Oh, that's just ice. Very watered down coffee. All right, so give everybody a couple minutes to finish that up. Let me know when you're done. Where is my, oh no, this is it. Where is my slip pocket piece? That's my slip pocket piece. There we go. No. Just making sure I am using the right pieces here. I am. Good. Frankie's done? Perfect. Okay, so you can put those aside for now. Now, Frankie, are you doing the slip pockets like what they do in the pattern, which is these two like that, or are you going to be doing them my way with the overlays? I'll explain how to do them as per the pattern if you're doing them that way. I'll have to do my slip pocket a little bit different than I usually do, just because I am using some scraps. Let me just clean up my interfacing here. So if you're doing it as per the pattern, what you would do right now is you would fold your slip pocket. Pretend this is a slip pocket piece. Okay. Oh, you're doing it my way? Okay. I'll just explain quickly how you would do it if you were doing it the pattern way. So actually we'll pretend this is a slip pocket piece, which it's not. But what you would do is you would fold it wrong sides together and give it a press. And then you would top stitch along that fold. And then pretend this is all top stitch along that fold. You take your lining piece and you would put it on it like this, and then you would stitch it down for all 3 sides, and then once up the middle to create your 2 pockets on each side. That would be with the folded piece if this was the whole length. That's how you would do it for this. I'm going to do it my way, but usually I would have a piece like so, and that would be all one piece, but I didn't have a big enough piece, and then I would again fold it in half and stitch up each side. For this one, I'm actually, because I'm using 2 separate pieces, I'm going to put them right sides together, and I'm going to stitch around all the sides. Actually, do you know what? We're going to kind of do it like the pattern as well. So what you're going to do is you take your slip pocket piece that we had cut and do it exactly like the pattern way. I'm going to have to do mine different because I have to sew up the bottom. Okay, so let me quickly do that and I'll show you what we are. Did I leave this long enough? No, I did not. Okay, never mind. Forget I said anything. All right. So go ahead and sew these up. I don't remember how much I told everybody to do it, but we want to make sure that they are at least 1 inch outside of the sides. So I probably cut mine too big, but I'm going to go ahead and sew these together. And when I sew up the sides, I'm going to use a 1 inch seam allowance if that's how it was. Oh, good night, Melissa. What piece are we using? I can't remember what I said to cut for the slip pocket piece. We're using the slip pocket piece, Frankie. Do you have your slip pocket piece there to measure? I kind of am piecing mine because I didn't have any fabric left. So we will want our slip pocket pieces to measure approximately, if these were together, one piece, 12 inches long, 12 inches long, and approximately 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 inches wide once it's all sewn together. 11 by 13. And what did this measure? Okay, so 13, 11 by 13. Okay, so for the width, when you go to sew up and down this way, I would go in 1 inch because we want it to be shorter than our panel here. Unless yours will fit. No, it won't. Does that make sense? We want it to be outside of the seam allowance on each side. So when you fold it wrong sides together, these side pieces I would do at a 1 inch seam allowance and then trim away the excess for when you turn it out. Does that make sense what I'm saying? I hope it does. It will as soon as I sew mine together, I think. Again, I'm doing mine different because I pieced them. And of course, leaving the top to open. So yeah, you're going to say, pretend mine is sewn on the bottom here. Okay, so that is the fold, say. Fold it halfways, right sides together, and then sew with 1 inch down each side here. Okay, 1 inch, and then we're going to trim that seam allowance down. And that is going to make it so it fits inside this really good. Okay, all right. Does that make sense? I hope so. So again, I'm doing mine different only because I ran out of material and I pulled from my scrap bin and I'm just making do. So you'll see me sewing across the bottom. You won't have to do that because yours has a fold there, but 1 inch on each side from that piece that we had originally cut. And then we're going to put it together just like we do any other of my slip pockets. Sorry, didn't mean to make that confusing. Again, sometimes when you are making it up as you go, you just kind of got to think about it that way. And I have to turn my iron on, so let me go do that quickly. Doesn't take too long to heat up. Okay, so ignore how I have sewn it on the bottom because you won't have that. That would be your fold. Then you're going to go ahead and you're going to cut on an angle on these corners and then trim your seam allowance up. And then you're going to turn it right side through. And we're going to see if it fits like I want it to. Yeah, it will. And you'll see how it'll clear where our seam allowances are going to be, and we'll still be able to get 2 pockets in there. So we have won this battle. Trim up my interfacing. I meant to do this, but then my dad needed my help. So that's one done. Sure it's going to sit properly. It will. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to give this a good press. What piece are we putting this one? This is, we're going to be putting on the lining piece. So where these slip pockets are, we're going to be putting it on there, and I'm going to be putting it on the one that will be on the front side of the bag. So not on your zipper linings, but on your main lining pieces. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put my accent strip on. So go ahead and do that and let me know when you have your accent strip on, and then we'll work on the placement on our main lining piece. Am I making sense, or have I confused you, Frankie? I've confused myself a little bit. I know what I'm doing now, but... So your slip pocket should look like mine now. And mine measures approximately 10 inches by 6-ish, 6.5-ish inches, something like that. Doesn't have to be exact. Stop sticking to me. You're completely confused. Okay. So you have your 11 by 13 piece. Okay. You are going to fold that in half just like we do for our slip pockets. So pretend this is my 11 by 13 piece, okay? This is my slip pocket piece. You're going to fold it in half like this. It's going to look a different size in this because this is not the right size. And then you are going to sew an inch seam allowance on each side. Does that make sense? Sorry, I didn't mean to make that totally confusing. Tell me if that makes sense, what I just said. So you're just going to take that 11 by 13 piece, just like we have made the slip pockets in the past classes, fold it in half, but we are just going in with a wider seam allowance because we're going to need it to be smaller on the lining piece because we want it out of the seam allowances for when we go to sew the sides on. So that would be an inch and an inch. Okay, that's good enough. That works. Okay. And then you can go ahead and you already know how to put on your slip pocket accent piece, correct? That's where we're at now. Oh, wait, it measures 11 and a half. We're going to want it to be a little bit smaller than the 11 and a half. So you might have to go in with a wider seam. You want it to end up measuring about 10 inches wide. So go and take off another ½ inch when it's folded this way. So 1.5 inches. Sorry. It's because we're making this up so as we go to try to do it my way. So if it measures, once you've done that and you've turned it out and it's measuring 11.5 inches, we want it to measure 10 inches. So we're going to want to go in a little bit more, 3/4 of an inch more. Does that make sense? Just to make it not quite as wide. And again, everybody, this is just if you're doing it my way. Again, I just made up my measurements when we cut out the slip pocket piece. So now we're just making it so it's actually going to fit. So yeah, we definitely want it to measure about 10 inches. So it should measure 10 inches this way. So you may just have to take a little bit more off of these side seams. Let me know when you have that, Frankie. So again, I'm so sorry I've confused you. Was not my intent at all. I confused myself a little bit. I'm trying to get my other measurements intact right now so I know what I'm showing you guys. Got it? Perfect. Okay, welcome to my brain. That is how my brain sometimes works. Okay. So we're good. So we can go ahead and we can top stitch our slip pocket piece if you're doing it my way. Again, do it as per the pattern if you want to do it in the pattern. This is making the slip pockets the style that I like to make it. So let's hop on over there and do that top stitching. Sometimes doing modifications make things so confusing. It works now, perfect. All right. Okay, so let me know when you're done that. I'm going to go ahead and just trim off my excess here. And then we will place this where it's going to go. This is me just thinking, just ignore what I'm doing right now. I'm just making sure I'm going to give the right measurements here. I do this at 3/4. And then this will measure up. 7 inches. I do think that these pockets are going to look better than what the pattern is, though. And it'll make finishing the bag a lot easier with the zipper pocket, too. It's already almost 5:30. Holy moly, time flies when you're having fun. Then you're just going to set the slip pocket aside when you're done that for a moment. When you're ready. No rush. How are you doing, Elba and Kathy? Did I confuse the poop out of you too? Okay, you're done? Okay, so sorry about that. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we are going to, before we go further with our pockets, we're going to install our magnetic snaps. So we're going to take our lining main panels and find our centers. The reason I'm installing these right now is because we are modifying it a little bit. I want to make sure that I'm not covering up these snaps, but we want the snaps to be as per the pattern. So it's just going to help us with the placement of our pockets once we have those snaps installed. Oops, I'm sticking to the table. Okay. It's all good? Okay. Sorry, I made it way more complicated than it needed to be. I apologize. Okay, so we want to place our magnetic snaps centered. So I just got my center marks there, 7 inches up from the bottom. So I have this nice and centered, 7 inches up, and I'm going to make a mark right there. And I'm just going to double check that from that dot to the end should be 5.5 inches, which is there. It is. And this one would be if my piece was cut nice and straight, which it is not. Oh my goodness, I am fired from cutting school. Just gonna trim that up so it's good. So it should be 7 inches up and 5.5 inches in, which I am now. I'm just going to double check again. Okay. And we are going to install one of our snaps there and then do the same on the other side. You didn't mark that piece. What is the measurement of the lining pieces? They are 11.5 inches by, I think that's 8 3/4. 8 3/4. Yeah. 11.5 by 8 3/4. They should be the same size as your main front panels, if that helps you. The same size as these ones. Okay, and then once you have those marks done, you can go ahead and install your magnetic snaps. Did you find them okay, Frankie? Got that one marked. I'm going to mark this one as well. Seven inches up, 5.5 inches in. And we want these to be accurate so we know that they will most definitely end up hitting each other. 5.5, 5.5, 5.5, and 7. Perfect. Okay, got it? Okay. Oh my goodness. Okay. So go ahead and install the male side on one and the female side on the other. Because I'm using cotton, I'm also going to put some fray check on my little slits here. I promise not to confuse you again. I hope. I maybe shouldn't promise that. Oops, I forgot to cut into, and of course I'm putting in between my washer and the prongs a scrap of Decoville Heavy. One. Oh, my hands don't want to work now. Here we go. Where did I put my washer? I lost my washer. I just had you. Oh, there you are. Okay. Okay, and then I always take my mallet to the prongs. So it's going to get loud for a moment here, just because I don't feel like I pushed them in good enough. So there we go. And then I'm going to put some Gorilla Tape on the back of those, or duct tape. Okay, so once you're there, let me know. Gotta love the prep work. You can actually go ahead, match up that top center line to make sure that they're snapping into each other when they're lined up. And mine do. Oh, Benny, stop scratching at the door, baby. Coco is beside herself. Holy moly. What else is new, right? How's everybody making out? I'm just going to let Benny in because now he's crying. 1 second. Benny, you're going to rub the paint off the door. Okay, come on in. No, you're just running in and out. Oh, my dog is just unbelievable today. He doesn't want in here. How's everyone doing? Give everybody another minute or so. Oh, Elba, I just saw your note. I'm not even close to there, so you haven't confused me yet. Uh, if if it confuses you, Elba, just message me and I will try to unconfuse you. I am so sorry. Again, I just took something that was super simple, and just because I had the piece cut too big is what happened. So what I should have done was probably got you guys to cut the piece down rather than do a larger seam allowance, but hey, we didn't do that. It's all good. How are you making out, Frankie? Is everybody still there? So for today, I still want to get the slip pocket on, and I want to get the zipper pocket done if you're doing it like me, just because the placement is going to be a little different than we usually do it. So give everybody about another 3 minutes. Done with the snaps. Yay! Okay, Frankie. Have you forgiven me yet? Okay. So now we're going to take, I'm going to take the one that actually has the male snap. I'm going to put that on the front side of the bag. And this is where we're going to place our slip pocket. So we do want to find the center of the slip pocket because we are going to put it into 2. So mine measures 10 inches. So I'm going to draw a line at the 5-inch halfway mark as my guide. And I'm just going to double check. Yeah, my phone should fit in there. Okay, so we want to just make sure this is clearing this, but also clearing a 3/8 of an inch seam allowance here. So I'm thinking if we put it, yeah, 3/4 of an inch up, centered. So make sure your piece measures the same as mine. Actually, I think it's going to be, no, that's 3/4 right there. So 3/4 of an inch up from the bottom, centered. So we're clearing the seam allowance on the sides here, which is what we want. We don't want to be sewing through this pocket, as well as we'll be clearing the seam allowance on the bottom. So that is what it was we had this piece cut too wide, and with doing the vinyl overlay, we didn't want it to be in the seam. I mean, we could have just done it as per the pattern that way and sewed it together, but trust me, the seam gets really, really thick if you do that. So we kind of want it to be within that seam allowance. So that was what my brain was doing, was trying to make this small enough that we had some leeway here. So we have like a 3/4 of an inch pretty much on each side, I think now-ish. Yeah. 3/4 on each side and 3/4 inches from the bottom. So hopefully that makes a little more sense what my brain was doing in that confusing moment, but that's exactly what it was trying to do. So once we have that lined up, nice and centered, and we're outside of where those seam allowances are going to go. Oh, Nicole, please say hi to Maddie for me. Now that I have that nice and straight, I'm just going to take some pins and I'm going to pin that in place so it doesn't move. And just like we do with all of our slip pockets, when you do them my way, is we're going to go ahead and we are going to, whoops, I put that one in weird. Let's fix that. So yes, just make sure you're clearing the seam allowances on the side and the bottom. Okay, we're going to top stitch down here, across to just 1/8 of an inch away from that middle line we drew, up, over 1/8 of an inch to the left of that middle line we drew, down, over, and up to create our 2 pockets. Okay, just like we do with all of our other slip pockets when we do them this way. Look, my mallet's there. Okay, everything makes sense now? We're good? But I do think this is just going to make that lining look so much better than how it does in the pattern. I really didn't like the way the slip pockets were in the pattern. Again, that's my preference. But I do all of my linings the same way, except for I didn't in that bag, so I was trying to stick to the pattern best I could. But for this one, I want to make it specialer. Down the other side. Perfect, Kathy. If you get confused at that point, feel free to message me through the week. I will walk you through what my brain was doing. All right. So that is what we've got. We have our 2 working slip pockets, and we have all of our seam allowances cleared all the way around. Oh, you like that sign, Wanda? Yeah, my parents found it at Value Village for me. Okay, so for homework, what you're going to do, if you want to, again, it's optional. I'm going to go and I will be putting a rivet here, a rivet in here, and a rivet right here like I do on all of my slip pockets, but we can do that for homework. So you can put that panel aside. Let me know when you're all done that, and then we will work towards our zipper overlay placement. Well, I figure it out right now. Okay. That'll be a lot easier. Benny's scratching at the door again. Yeah, I think that sign is super cute. Because you know what? We can virtually learn anything together. Benny is going to scratch at the door, but he does not want to come in. Oh my goodness, Ben. Said I let him in, but he's just going to run out again. He's being very persistent today. It's usually Coco that's being the pain in the rear. Oh, I gotta go try. Okay. Let me know when you're all done there, Frankie. I love that I have somebody sewing with me today. It's fun. You gonna actually come in? No, I'm not coming out with you. I'm not coming out with you. Okay, out you go. There. He runs around my feet because he's trying to get me to go upstairs. Done with the slip pocket. Perfect. My parents, they thrift a lot. So they go to Kelowna and Vernon and everything all the time. So they're finding me all the treasures. Okay, so this is the last step we're going to do because I know everybody already knows how to do the zipper pocket for turning, correct? Everybody is good for that? I'm just going to show you how to place this overlay, and then we're going to call it a day, and this pocket will be homework. Are we good? Are we good with that? Frankie, you know how to do the pocket, right? For turning, leaving the bottom open, and how to do this? If not, I'll show you quickly. You just let me know. Okay, so on the back of the overlay, just like we always do, we are going to just put our, oh my goodness, Coco, along the top, making sure we're staying away from that 1/8 of an inch seam, especially that will be top stitching, especially if you are on a domestic machine. Okay, so again, there is no zipper pocket in this part. Okay, perfect. So in the pattern, again, the last half hour or so has been Brandy confusion of Brandy modification to make this how I want it to be. So I'm just going to show you where to place this, okay? So again, we want to make sure we're not covering up this magnetic snap. That is why we put it on. So we are going to lay it centered just below it like that. Does that make sense? So you want to make sure you're not covering this, but we're going to go just below it because if we go too much lower, it's going to look ridiculous. Keep in mind that this is going to be a zipper pocket at 3/8, so it's going to be under like that, so it's not going to be too low, but it'll be a little shallow pocket, which is okay. I still think it looks better than what the other was. So we're going to go ahead and we are going to place this nice and centered So for me, that worked out to be about 2 inches from the top, but you just want to make sure you are not covering that magnetic snap. So I'm going to measure that down. Oh my gosh, Coco. And stick this down nice and centered. I'm glad that this worked out good because we're outside of our seam allowances on this side, which is what we want. So let's make sure that's centered. 1 1/8. Good enough. Stick that down, and then you would go ahead as per usual how you put this on. Now you may need to put a zipper foot on to get when you're top stitching this, because that snap will be in the way. So you might want to put on your, which zipper foot would that be? Your left zipper foot, maybe? So then you would go ahead and you would do this just like we do regularly when we do our zipper pockets. Do the linings of that zipper pocket as well, and leave the pocket open for turning. Now in the pattern, I can put this to my face. In the pattern, there is no zipper pocket for turning, and in the bottom, you can see we closed it up just by folding the raw edges under and then top stitching. I hate that. That is like my least favorite way of closing a bag, because now you've got that ridge in the bottom of the bag. So we will be turning it through the bottom of the bag, but we're going to close that bottom up through that zipper pocket. So that's another reason why to add that zipper pocket to these lining pieces. So we can definitely pull it up and close it. I thought might have been able to do it through these zipper pockets, but it doesn't work. So that doesn't work. So this is the only way around that to do that. So yes, so for homework, put the rivets in your slip pocket if you like to do that, and finish up this zipper pocket with overlay for easy turning. If you're doing this the way I like to do it. When it comes to finishing the bag, if you haven't done the interior pockets like this, you've done it as per the pattern. Of course, I'm going to show you how to close it up that way too. So I hope that all makes sense. Is that good for everybody? Are we past all the confusing part? Oh my gosh, I took the simplest thing and made it so confusing. Brandy, Brandy, Brandy. Yay! So next class, what we will be doing is prepping the side panels with the piping. And then we will have all of our panels done, and then we can start putting it together. Again, I don't think we're going to be we're going to probably be 3 or 1.5 more classes, I think. So, drop in. No, the drop in won't work, Frankie, because these pouches, well, it might work. These go together like a pouch. So you have you watched the tutorial that I did? Because you do each zipper section separately. So maybe watch the tutorial to see. I'm not a pro at drop-in linings by any means. But yeah, we prepare the pouches first, and then we put everything else together. So this isn't one of those bags where we do the whole exterior and then we do the whole lining and put it together. We actually, it's very much like how we did the take 3 in a way, where we have our 2 separate zipper pocket areas. So definitely make sure you watch my tutorial on how it goes together and see if you can make it work as a drop-in lining. I'm trying to think of how that would work, because this goes together so incredibly different. And the drop-in won't work, because even how we're doing our side seams, it's really bizarre. Like, let me find the picture of it. Because you actually end up building this in a tube. You can kind of see it if you look at page 13. You will see how it goes. Maybe not page 13. It's really, really bizarre. But no, I don't think a drop-in lining would work either. It's actually a genius way of doing it. I've never made a bag like this before like that, but it is definitely done incredibly different. I see where drop-in lining would be nice, but yeah, I don't think it will allow for that. Alba, you like the zipper pocket idea? It doesn't take much getting confused. You have to admit, I don't confuse you too often. Again, that was just my brain was thinking out loud, and sometimes I need to think before I talk, but we got her. It was all good. So, yeah. But I promise, this bag is not hard. It's not hard at all. It looks a lot more complicated than it is, and me confusing everybody with the slip pocket, well, that shouldn't have happened because it wasn't hard to do that. If I had just done the math and calculated our slip pocket piece that we were adding in a little better, it would have been better. Wanda, I tried that and I couldn't get it to work, but that could have been just me. Make sure you watch the video on how the construction goes together and see what you think. I would love your feedback to see if you think you can make it work. I couldn't quite wrap my head around how that would work. Because I don't think it would. It's really a really different construction. But it might. If you can figure it out, please share. I could be absolutely and totally overthinking it. But I think when I did the tutorial, I was thinking the same thing. And then when I went to do it, I'm like, I don't know. We'll get it closed up one way or the other. It's all good. Oh, well, besides that, was this an okay class? Do we get a lot accomplished? Yeah, Wanda, keep me posted what you think. I'd love your ideas if you think you could get it to work. Again, mainly it's because it's not a construction that I am familiar with. I've never constructed a bag like this ever. Because you actually do 2 pouches first, and then you have this other thing that ends up being this big tube, and yeah. You'll have to let me know what you think. All right. Everything is okay. Again, I apologize for the confusion for the slip pocket, but I think we got it. We did lots, I know, hey? Concept is solid. Awesome. Perfect. Okay, so anybody, if you get confused at that spot, be sure to reach out to me and we can FaceTime or whatever, and I can try to explain it to you again. I think we got through it okay. Again, just do the slip pocket like we usually do. Just make sure that the end result, it's only 10 inches or so wide. It could be a little bit shorter. We just want it to be outside of the side seam allowances is what I was going for. So we did a lot. Yes. I said this is getting the prep ready. So I'm thinking next class will be getting all the pieces on, and then the last class will be working in that final construction. So just stick with me. You guys are going to love this in the end. So Diane already finished hers. I wish she was still in here. I don't think she is anymore, so she could share what she thought of it. But yeah, I promise it's awesome. Okay, so thank you everybody. Thank you for holding in there. And I will see most of you on Tuesday, and I'll see the rest of you on Thursday. Frankie, I will see you on Thursday. Safe travels to Florida. Drive safe. I hope your landscape damage from the hurricane isn't too bad. Take some pictures. I'd love to see. Post it on the page if you like. Yeah, and so yeah, just the homework is if you're riveting those slip pockets for decoration, go ahead and do that. And if you were doing the zip pocket with the overlay like I do in all of my bags, leaving the bottom open for turning, go ahead and finish that off. So good night everybody, and I will see you later. Have a great weekend. Bye. And I lost my mouse again. Why do I always, there it is.